Hello and welcome to the I might actually be doing this semi-regularly again comic review show where I, the comic archivist, reviews the first issues of a given comic and then talk about it for a few minutes, for better or worse, over a static title card. While you listen to my calm and manic tones, be sure to check out ComicSology, probably the only real big space to buy comic books, and it's an Amazon company now, so can't go wrong with that. No, I'm not paid to say that, but I am always up for someone paying me to gush about their product, and here would be the perfect spot for it. Oddly, I put a winky face in the script here. Anyways, the comic I'll be talking about today is the Image comic, Unnatural #1, written, illustrated, and colored by Mirka and Andolfo. Leslie is an anthropomorphic pig girl who fantasizes about, how do I put this, howling to the moon with a hunky wolf. But in this world, interspecies relationships are illegal, so she goes about her day with these lust-filled thoughts. At her job, which I think is basically a dark maids cafe, since it's called Gothalol, and they have to be dressed as, well, anime maids. Her boss gives everyone new uniforms, but since Leslie has all the right curves in all the right places, she can't fit into that uniform all too well. And her boss's only answer to her bringing up this issue is, of course, come to the office and we can figure out where to stick that complaint, sweet cheeks. But she refuses his sleazy advances, doing her job in an undersized uniform with her bacon bits hanging out. Her friend, Derek, a gazelle or maybe an impala, offers his boyfriend up for Leslie to marry, since Derek's also a porker, and the couple's tax breaks are much better than singles. But homosexual love is also illegal, so they can't get married for the money. Leslie refuses because it's against the law, but I think it's because she's not the kind of girl to move without her heart leading the way. After that rejection, she sees someone in a hood staring at her from the large window outside. And that's basically, I think, the mystery that's going to be overarching, I guess. I don't know, but her day goes as well as it could before she heads home. Taking a nice steamy bath, complete with wine, she has another fantasy about the wolf of her dreams, and boy does he really roast the pig, except there's only one of him. But her roommate Trish interrupts her for dinner. But while they eat, Leslie gets a message from the government reproduction program saying that it's going to be her time soon. Dun dun dun! Okay, let's get this out of the way right quick. This is a highly sexual book. You see some nice bare pig boobs and some hot piggy rump roast. But I legitimately love that about this book. No, I don't mean that in a pervy way, mostly. So many times will you have a story that focuses in on sex or sex-related themes like orientation or preference and stuff like that, but it sticks to an almost none-like lack of sex, which almost makes the sex feel neutered and not really a part of the story, you know? So by letting us experience the crackling heat of her fantasies, we know why she, and us as the audience, may be going to hell. It is also a way for us to feel closer to Leslie, outside of the variety of current prog-lit tropes that we'll get to in a minute. By being privy to her filthy thoughts, even on a subconscious level, we do feel like we're along with this character for better or worse. And that's exactly what you need in a slice of life that hits home like this. And yes, this is most definitely a slice-of-life comic, but here's why. Leslie is a plus-sized girl struggling to make ends meet due to an overreaching government. Her boss is a sexist lech who would give anything to make the piggy squeal. She has a gay best friend, a sassy roommate, and the addition of a societal taboo or unnatural edge means that at least one of those aspects can ring true with the reader. But all of that is her life. It isn't about focusing on the law, though I'm sure that's going to be a prominent thing throughout, no doubt. It's the same permeation of politics and whatnot that could easily parallel with our own lives, be it with our current media outlet, social networking, or even just on a friend conversation. And while you can see a specific allegory that this may be going for, it doesn't feel like 2x4 politics, something along the lines of modern Marvel when they decide to try and be hip with the youths. By the way, 2x4 politics is the same principle I have for 2x4 philosophy. It's when you take your message, write it on a piece of wood with Sharpie, and then proceed to go Joe Don Baker on everyone's skull and maybe a dead horse or two. What do you mean the kids won't get a Walking Tall reference? As for the art, it's very much the modern standard for online comics, and that is not a bad thing, mind you. It is a beautiful looking comic, and I love the neo-cartoon look that comes with a bright, almost bouncy color scheme, even in darker shades, and the line work that actually really animates the sequentials, and brings a fluidity to reading that you can almost picture the animated movie going on in your head. And even the steamy scenes are given a bit more elevation into dreamlike fantasy with the style that Adolfo Andolfo goes with. It's a top-notch visual that make Club Stripes blush in shame. There's been far too many times that a creator has taken on writing and art duties with one of those suffering. But luckily, nothing hurts here, so I guess with that I've reached my verdict. With stunning art and a story that makes me want to continue into the next issue, the obvious answer is buy it. Buy it means that this book is worth the price of admission alone and should be bought both digitally for reading as soon as possible, and a hard copy should be ordered at your local comic shop for posterity's sake. Even if you're just a perv who wants to see some hot ham hocks, it's worth the price of admission. And that's all for today before I think of any more dirty pig jokes to stuff into this. If you agree with me that this is a bit of fried gold, or if you felt that this little piggy shouldn't have made it to market, or if you just want to discuss the comic because I do leave generally specific things out of these reviews, leave a comment down below. While you're down there, if there's a comic you'd like to see discussed on First Issues, Webcomic First-ish, or any of the other wonderful shows we have on this channel, let me know. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and please consider checking out our Patreon. It's not the best thing right now, but you get some special stuff for signing up. The best free way to help this channel, though, is just by sharing and subscribing and interacting. We have a long way to go before we reach that 1K subs to remonetize the channel. But more importantly than anything else, I'm the Comic Archivist, and you should stay golden, Inklings.